Hell yeah. Alright guys, what did you see just now? Let's talk about it. Today's video, and I'm doing a series of videos. This one is about nonverbal cueing, but I want to start talking and start teaching about teamwork. Now, I do feel that I'm uniquely positioned to discuss this, since I am a master trainer and I'm a coach. I've coached at some of the highest levels of varsity, I've coached at some of the universities, and I do have a lot of experience coaching individual people to be better with their teamwork. I believe I can do the same through the power of YouTube with you guys. Here's our first video. This one is on nonverbal cueing. I want to talk to you guys about what it is that I've learned how to train and practice with other people. How I've personally learned to observe your gameplay so that I can be a better teammate to you while we're in the match together. There's a lot of things that we have to cover, but the first one should always be a definition. What is nonverbal cueing? The short definition is that it's the way you listen, look, move, and react. And the goal is to learn how to observe your teammates well enough that you can apply those 4 things in game so you can then play off of them and become a better, more valuable teammate. Let's cover listen really quickly. This is the one that does not have a lot to do with solo players, but you'll have a really good idea of what listening is if you're on a team, and there's ways you can listen to your teammates even if you cannot hear them over the comms. Now, the main thing I want you to take away from listening is called voice tonality. Basically, this is how the character of the voice is coming through, their tone, and how they represent what they're saying. So if you're in game chat and somebody's voice tonality sounds stressed, then you'll know this is not the right time to push them on a certain issue. Like if they made a terrible mistake, that will just put them on tilt. So that's how you listen to your teammates' verbal communication, but the majority of this is called nonverbal cueing, so I wanted to talk to you about that real quick. If you're on a team with somebody and you notice they jump around a lot, or they slide a lot, you can listen to those cues even when you're behind cover, and you'll have a very good idea of where their character model is. You can listen for the enemy as well. That helps you gain a little bit more of an understanding of their playstyle. Somebody that jumps around a lot likes to play in the aerial space. Somebody that slides a lot enjoys getting underneath that person. So then you have the option of playing in the aerial space. I hope that makes a bit of sense. And that's how you listen for nonverbal cueing and identify what pattern your teammates have. Alright, the second nonverbal cue is called look, see, and observe. Now, these are similar, but I want to describe this to you with a little bit more detail. Looking at something, and then seeing something, and actively observing it. That's the pattern that most people follow. The example I usually give is if you go outside and you look at the sky, you might notice that it's blue. You may not have seen the cloud, but if you go outside, you look at the sky, and you see a cloud, you may not have observed the shape of that cloud. Observation is our goal. Now, I understand that I'm using this in reference to the cloud in the sky and the mountain in the background. Those are things that you can practice because you're getting better at observing things that are around you. But what about that guy right there that I just took out? What was he firing? Did you happen to observe the color on his shader? So you know that the vigilance wing that he was firing will be associated with that color of person, of guardian. So you now know that those two are associated and you can spot him more quickly. And if you use your listening, nonverbal cue listenings from earlier against the enemy, then you'll be able to find him more quickly too. It's always easier to find something when you know what you're looking for. Alright, the third nonverbal cue is called move, or movement specifically for gaming. And I'm going to show you the clip from the beginning again, so you can watch exactly what my teammate does, because he knows how I move. He's played with me long enough and hard enough, sorry for the reference there about hard, but he's played with me long and hard enough that he knows that I'm not actually trying to engage this guy. He had full confidence to run him over, because he knows I'm not engaging. I am distracting. I got a shot on him, I wasn't actually hoping for a kill. We actually do the same thing here to this guy and to the next one. Take a look. We actually call this follow the pretty paladin, because I'm so pretty for one thing, but also I'm distracting them while they follow up as awesome teammates to finish them off. Look at how he responds to how I move. No hesitation, full-on confidence, immediately knew what I was going to do. That is something that you can learn to do with solo queue players if you understand the concepts of movement. Let's talk about that right now. As a personal trainer and coach, I associate movement with the word pattern. Movement patterns, and they're specific and unique to everybody. Now I'm going to teach you right now what to look for, so you know how you can both take advantage of your enemy's movement patterns, but also assist your teammate so you can become a better teammate by helping identify their innate movement pattern. I've learned that patterns are acquired through repetition, so that is what we're looking for, repetitive movement patterns. Your in-game character model has these because you have them. So it's something that you can learn and observe what to look and identify, as. Now the teammates that I'm playing with right here were very aggressive. That's their pattern. They move forward, shotgun out, rush, rush, rush. That's their pattern. They have a movement repetitive pattern of rushing the enemy. That's what they know to do, so I played the flanking role. Let me show you again. I am purposely deciding to play opposite my teammates by choosing to do a flanking role. They're going left stick forward, I'm going right stick to the side. I'm making decisions on how to play with them so that we have more success in this solo trials experience game. Since they're rushing forward and I understand that the enemy is going to probably back up to address them, I'm taking a flanking role. And you see this guy jumped right in front of me. That is his play style. He is left stick forward, aggression all the way through and through. If we all do that, there's a chance we'll be successful. I find my role on a team is more successful when I play a flanking route and allow that person to engage me, knowing the enemy team is going to be flanked or even just run over by somebody that is aggressively seeking them. That person will not stop. So if I know that's their play style, that's the pattern that their movement in-game is, I can choose how I play to complement that play style as a flanker or as a distraction so they can get the kill. Maybe I'll get the assist, I'm not worried about it. I just want to make sure that we win. The last nonverbal cue is react or reaction. How are you reacting to all the other things that are going on in the game, specifically your teammates? Are you reacting by what they're doing? Are you reacting away from their doing? How are you reacting when somebody puts you under pressure? This is incredibly self-reflective. I can actually tell you who's upset in-game by watching their character model. What do they normally do? They teabag. I know that's a dirty word right now, but they'll emote and they'll teabag. They're talking smack, meaning they're having a reaction to something that's going on. That is a non-verbal cue, but it's a very clear one. You can observe it, you can sense the pattern of it, and you can learn how to react to that. One example of reacting to something is how do your teammates in game chat react to losing a match? That reactivity, that tonality of voice, those all add up to somebody being tilted and under stress. You can play with the reactivity of this by being, let's say, ice to their fire, for example. I know that sounds a little silly, but it's effective, especially as a teammate. Now that's if you have verbal communication in game chat, even though you non-verbally recognize that this person is under duress, because their tonality, something you now know and recognize, is considered to be in a stressed out way. Now, how would you recognize that if you're solo? Somebody that is doing in-game character model stuff that looks like stress. They're teabagging, they are emoting constantly, or they're playing incredibly stupidly silly. Those are all signs and reactions, non-verbally speaking, of someone that is not having a good time. You can react to that too by playing closer to them or trying your best to complement their playstyle, maybe even taking a bullet or two on their behalf so they can get the kills. Believe it or not, I've actually turned a trials match around because of how I reacted to something my teammate was doing. My teammate, at that time, was reacting in a way that spoke to me saying he wanted to lose. So he would left stick forward because that's his pattern, that's his playstyle. So I actually changed up my playstyle to left stick forward with him. We ended up bum rushing a guy individually, And then we ended up bum rushing another one. And you know what that did? That gave him more confidence to play with me. So if I chose to go left, he followed. That was a positive reaction to something that was inherently a loss, a negative that was going on at the moment. So that's it for this video, guys. I'm going to recap real quick what we're looking at. Nonverbal cueing and how you can practice it. If you are listening in game chat, you're looking for tonality of voice. What that means is, how are they stressed if they are stressed, and what are they telling you even if they're not actually telling you. My example is, I'm fine. They're obviously not, because they didn't sound fine, correct? All right. The next one we're looking at is look, see, and observe. Remember, this is based around looking and observing for enemy character models as well as your teammates if you're a solo player. Observationally speaking, what are they using, how are they using it, and how can you put yourself into a playstyle that supports them so you can go for the win. The third one is move or movement, and remember, this is repetition based. We all have movement patterns. The best players in the world have a pattern to their movement. They can change that, of course, as they see fit, but those patterns have a type of ingraining to them. Those can be exploited. You can watch your teammates' patterns to see how you can benefit them while playing together, so you have the chance of winning that you need from identification of movement pattern. The final nonverbal cue is react. You're specifically looking for your teammates' reaction to things. How they handled somebody chasing them down, what they reacted to when they were stressed. Did they teabag? Oh, sorry, use the word again. Did they emote aggressively? Did they run and hide when they got chased around the corner? Did they pull out a shotty and try to fight and hold their ground? That's reactivity, and that's something you can help capitalize on if you know what you're looking for. And that's it. Alright guys, this is the first type of video for me like this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's a lot of work to put all this down on paper and read from a script, which I normally don't do. I normally just kind of go off the hinge. Anyway, if you want to see more like this, let me know. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for all your time today. Remember to keep it zen out there. And also remember, I am committed to turning you into PvP monsters. This is video 1 of 6. And they will help you if you can apply the methods of nonverbal cueing and all the other ones in these videos to making you better. Thanks so much for your time. Goodbye.